On this channel we have covered many ships with an interesting and unique tale. From the White Star Line's never realised dream, the RMMV Oceanic, to the marvel of engineering that is Brunel's Great Britain. But never before have we covered a ship that has served as a murderer's attempted method of escape. Well, that changes today, as we take a look at the Montrose, a ship with a rather interesting tale.
Do you recognize one of the grandest ships that ever carried the British flag?
It's great to be here for the opening of the Dudley Hippodrome.
A theatrical landmark could disappear if plans to demolish it go ahead.
Had a wonderful war record, sinking 2 enemy submarines and carrying thousands of troops in safety. They called her the Old Reliable.
The Montrose was originally built for the African Steamship Company as a cargo ship. She would only have one single screw that was driven by a single triple expansion engine, giving her a service speed of 12 knots, which would become more important later. The Montrose was to be built by Sir Railton Dixon and Company, being assigned the yard number 441. The Montrose would have an uneventful construction process, being completed in September of 1897. The Montrose's early days would prove to be relatively uneventful until 1900, when ownership was transferred to the elder Dempster and Company. Then, in March of the same year, the Montrose would be requisitioned for service as a troop ship in the Boer War. Nothing of note would occur during her time in this role, and by 1901 she was safely returned to her owners, who would move the Montrose into a new subsidiary of theirs, to move cargo to and from the Caribbean. The Montrose's owners would be bought in 1903 by the Canadian Pacific, who took one look at the Montrose and thought, you know what, that'd make a great ocean liner, and thus she was converted from a cargo ship into an ocean liner. However, as an ocean liner, her route would be changed many times by the Canadian Pacific, as they clearly couldn't make their minds up. At some point during the Canadian Pacific's ownership, the Montrose would receive a wireless, something that no doubt would come in use later. On the 31st of January 1910, Dr. Harley Crippen would murder his wife. Now you're probably wondering, why is this important to the video? Well, that's because when the police caught wind of what Crippen did, he tried to flee to Canada on board the Montrose, which would not go to plan. As during his voyage, the captain of the Montrose was able to identify Crippen amongst the passengers. After recognising Crippen, the captain decided to message the authorities about his suspicion, leading a detective Dew to hop on to the White Star Line's Laurentic to overtake him, which he did on the 31st of July 1910. Crippen would be arrested on our beloved Montrose. For a video covering this crime, I will leave a link to a great video by my assistant writer and girlfriend. Nothing of note would occur to the Montrose until 1914, when a bunch of countries decided that a world war would be fun, leading to a nail-biting incident as the Montrose was in Antwerp at the Montreal, which was having her engines repaired, as the Germans begun their invasion of Belgium, which meant that the Montrose had to tow the Montreal to England before the Germans could reach them. Not too long after this, in October of 1914, the British Admiralty would end up requisitioning the Montrose for service as a reserve block ship. The Montrose must have heard this and thought, "Not today, Satan!" As shortly after this, the Montrose broke free of her moorings and wrecked on the Goodwin Sands, bringing an end to the Chariot of a killer. Someone call? Hello? Is anybody here? For God's sake, screw this, I'm going to the cinema.